today is it day 12? Day 12. It's a Thursday maybe? Yeah, Thursday. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, we'll go with 12 and Thursday, and I'll change it on screen. I'm totally full of it. So last night I spent camp at Sunnyside, that's what it was called, and that's historic ruins. I didn't see any historic ruins. I didn't go in far enough. As soon as you get past the sign and turn to the right, there's a campsite, basically just right behind the sign. You can't see it where the sign tells you you're at the historic site, but the road does just a J-hook, right? And there's plenty of camping spots there, and it was really good. It's quite flat, and I had a mad sleep there. You remember waking up and changing positions, but beyond that, I didn't stay awake for any more than a second or two to change positions, and I zonked straight back out again. And then my alarm woke me up this morning. It went off and I went, what the hell is that? What? Time already? So I have to have had a good sleep, right? So that was a good spot. Look, usually I definitely wouldn't go that far. I mean, I walked all the way back to the trailhead, so, and up that, I would assume it's about a half-k trek. And this morning, all of that half-k is uphill back to the trail. But, and I mean, this is the guy who walked an extra 15k, so he didn't have to do that exact same scenario for 2k's to Sunny's hut, to Happy's hut. So, you know, take it as you will. But it was worth the half-k walk, I think. It was pretty good. Man, look at these slabs. This is, I see this a lot, but the trees aren't cut yet. So I'm saying, I'd assume the forestries are needing access on the trails I've been on. They obviously don't. But look at this. Aren't they giant slabs? Look at the size of this tree. His root system. And the killer of all gum trees is the termite. I mean, to be fair, he doesn't have much in him to start off with. Wonder what brought him down. He's big, but to be fair, I now don't have to climb over that sucker, which wouldn't have made it fun. Oh, so we're starting. So the morning is climbing up to Mount Wheels. Gotta climb up to Mount Wheels, and then get across to Madison, because that is my minimum point for today. Get to Madison's hut, and then from there, what I do, had a leech on my back. That's from Gill Creek, right? He's dead. I must have crushed him between the pack and my back, but my night shirt has a blood spot on it. Very upsetting, so I actually really like that shirt in general. I might just have to buy another one for around home, especially if I can't get that blood out of that one. Oh, it's a welcome warm embrace each night when I put it on. What a great shirt. Anyway, so besides that, I mean, if I go past Madison, it is then a huge descent to Big River, and you know full well if there's leeches and shit in bloody Gill Creek, Big River's going to definitely have them. And from what I understand, I actually have to forge the river this time there'll be no clever, unless they put a bridge in or a log has fallen down. Why am I talking to you going uphill? This is ridiculous. Let's clear this up now and then I'll concentrate on climbing. So, I won't want to stay in Big River if it's Leech City, right? I played that game on the Great North Walk. I don't want to play that game here. That means then I've got to climb out. And it's a decent freaking climb out. Once you get up and out of Big River, I mean that's huge climbs, like 750. That's huge today. Especially after Mount Wheels already. And the climb to Madison, that's 2 climbs before that. Excuse me. I would have doubted I could do it. But I did it yesterday with 2 climbs, and then I climbed out of Gill Creek. Once you get up, it's flat for a day, right? You're up high, and you stay up high on, you know, like a plane for the next day. And I think that was my boogie day. Like tomorrow is my go as far as you can, as fast as you can day. So if I can start that without Big River being in the way, let's see. We'll play it by ear, see how our legs go. My feet gave me curry last night, so I had to take meds to settle them down so I could sleep, which must have worked. And then still tired, sorry. I didn't get enough sleep. I went to bed at 7:30. I didn't get enough sleep. Bloody hell. Anyway. If I can get up there, I can range tomorrow, right? So I think my trick is to control my climbing up to Mount Wheels today. Boogie where it's flat, cover flat with speed, which I'm starting to be able to do now because my right foot, the chronic pain I had has gone. Touch wood. I mean, it still niggles, but it's not crazy bad. And the rest is, like I say, heel pains from driving up constant hills all the time, right? So that's probably the biggest thing. And they won't start complaining until a bit later today when they've been driven into the back of the shoe repeatedly for a little while. So maybe up the top here. So control my climbs, boogie on the flats, try and be alive at the bottom of the stents. That's the description I'm not liking to read in Chapman's book now is steep descent. That means good luck. Hold on for your life. So we'll see. Anyway, that is the generalized plan for today. See how we go. I filtered all my water this morning. It got to 0 actually. While I was packing, my tent started to ice while I was packing it. Luckily the condensation wasn't bad. It was quite small and I was able to quickly wipe it down and ice dust it off. But it was 3 when I woke up and it got to 0 while I was packing. So I filtered water at 0. Filter's in my pocket at the moment just to keep itself warm. I'm assuming it's now not 0 anymore. Let me have a look. It's 2 now. So the filter's probably safe to go back in his little hidey hole. So I'll do that. Oh, it doesn't really matter. I can, until I take this jumper off. When I take this jumper off, I'll reset everything. So that is about it. So yeah, lugging that water, even though it was hard, gave me the luxury of eat and drink how I wanted to at camp last night. And I now have 2 full water bottles in my front electrolytes bottle, which I hide under my hat just here. If you can see it. No, he's in, well, I'll show you the cap anyway. He's in a pouch just there. But anyway, he is full as well. So Effectively, I got full drinking water all the way up to Mount Wheels by lugging that 2 litres bladder yesterday. Even though that was tough, I got it up there and I was able to have whatever water. So unless you can store water at Sunnyside or lug it out of Gills Creek, or I mean, if you're coming the other way, you're coming down Mount Wheels, you can bring the water down from Mount Wheels. It's easy, but that's a really nice camp spot. So it's quiet there. I think I heard one car last night, and it's not even that loud. The cars are quiet, so it's not too bad. The Omeo Highway is quiet. Alright, that's enough of my rambling. It's been going on for 10 plus minutes, so let's call it quits here, and I will see you down the track. See ya. Warm yourself up by running. Oh, look at this thing. Yeah. Let's go look at the hut. Water at the back. Toilet to the front. Quaint little toilet. Check that thing out. Big veranda. Weather station up here. Good place for firewood, isn't it? Look at that. They even have... Look, there's be enough flat areas. If it wasn't bloody gale force like it is today. Alright, let me take you off. Let's go and have a gander. So, polsies. Just wait here. There we go. Alright, let's go have a look. Ooh. Looks like it's fallen down, doesn't it? It's a closed door. There's a thermometer, say. It says 3 degrees, right? Mine says 4. There be the toilet. I think it'll be draftier than the ones that are in Kosciuszko. Slow combustion in the middle. We'd probably keep this room warm. Kitchen seen better days. Let's go check these out. Ooh, push. Oh, look at that. You'd risk it for a biscuit for one night, wouldn't you? I mean, this will be asbestos forever up here. They won't be able to get this out. Just have to stay up here. And look at that. So, maybe you could fit 4 people in at a squeeze. Maybe. There you go. Actually, some of the snow gums look healthy up here, don't they? Look at that one there next to the fire. In fact, the whole area looks pretty good.
evening, or it is the end of, what is it? It's day 12. We'll say day 12, right? It's currently 6 p.m. and it's -1. I'm at the intersection to Cope Hut, which is 2 k's away, and the T-Spur and the Long Spur Trail. There's a sweet little camp spot here, slightly slopey, but it's pretty nice, and up underneath a snow gum. Good spot, but friggin' cold. We're up at 1700 at the moment. No wind. Oh, at least the second half of today there was no wind. Right, so let's see. Alright, so we left Sunnyside, that was fine. It was windy there all night. But it was a great little campsite. Definitely recommend just going that little bit off if you're doing that and you don't like. I wouldn't camp at Gills Creek, bugger that. I would camp at Sunnyside. You can lug water down from Mount Wheels Hut. You're going downhill the whole time to get there. So, it'd be no problem to lug water down there. So, climbing up Mount Wheels pretty much set my day off. That was it. My day was set by that climb. It was a absolute battle with the brambles that were there. So overgrown, and the brambles were a huge fight. So we struggled. We may have done 2k an hour coming up to get all the way up, and the brambles were so, like, they don't want to give up. They fight for every inch that you're trying to take. So I got up the top and it was quite late in the day, I want to say. So I didn't stick around at Mount Wheels. I just checked out the asbestos shack, is pretty much what it is. So it's probably the least appetizing I've seen for huts that have floors and everything going on, right? I mean, I've been in huts along here where it's been a stone slab floor that, whatever, but yeah. Anyway, so we then had to come down off the back of Mount Wheels. That's not so, it's not as overgrown, but it's a different type, right? It's a wet on the backside. It's the south side. It's a wet there. All the bark's wet. Lots of blowdowns in there, and the blackberries it's in New South Wales. Our blackberries almost in huge fields or in waterways. Here, the blackberries are everywhere, but they're not. Nothing's massive. Maybe I'll see that later on, but they're like strategically placed to piss you off. So I don't know if that's. Obviously, that's not the case, but seems to today. So, and even up here, up on the top, where's that 1700? There's blackberries up here. What the hell's a blackberry doing trying to survive up here? Crazy thing. So, anyway, after you come off there, you have a very short fire trail. I think today, out of the 25 k's I did, only 4 of it would have been fire trail, and then the rest of it was single trail. You have the Long Spur Ridge that lives up to its name. Great views, like you had views for days off to your, if you're going northbound off to your left, you're coming southbound off to your right, like the northern side you had views for days. It was pretty, so you could always look. But I mean, it was such a technical track, very technical. So you really had to have your wits about you. And there's 3 strategically placed picnic tables along the way. One of them is a great spot where you most definitely can camp there. There's no water, obviously, because you're on the ridge. But, you know, it's a pretty spot. The other ones, they just sort of appeared out of nowhere. It's like, how the hell did they get there? I mean, they still got their colour, right? They still got their timber colour. They haven't lost it and gone grey like everything else. Or, you know, got, you know, lichen growing on them yet. So they must have only been in for a season or 2. But that was long. It was a long day. Out of the 24, 20 of it was single trail, and of that single trail, all of it bar the descent off Mount Wheels was uphill. So it was a tough day. That was a tough day, long day. But this is when I sat down and reworked everything. This here is where my night 2 was supposed to be for the second half. So I haven't lost anything apart from me being annoyed that I can't go further. But then I don't want to camp down at Big River, so I think this was a good spot. There's a little creek outside. I don't know if you can hear it. I mean, it's like a foot wide, but it's perfect for gathering water in, the bladder, the open end bladder, not dirty water bottles, bladders that I have, because you can just open up the mouth and block the whole creek, right? And all the water just flows in, and you have it full in seconds, and off you go. They're the best ones to fill up from. So I won't have to put my buds in. I can go to sleep to the creek, and if you watched any of my human hover, you'll know anytime I was next to water, I was lights out and slept brilliantly for the night. So he's hoping a little trickle sound will put me to sleep. I mean, can I have 2? Oh, yawning, my brain's out already. Can I have 2 nights of great sleep in a row? Sounds a bit rough, doesn't it? So I've hit the wall with food. I just don't want to eat dinner. I didn't want to eat dinner last night, but I did because I actually had a on the track meal, which are heavier, right? They're actually just all you're doing is heating them up, but they're already inside. That was a bolognese one. So what I did is I have in all my drops just 2. Can you see my fingers? Everything's not really working here, is it? Just 2 on track meals per drop, because they're too heavy. I mean, 2 meals is basically half a kilo just there, right? And the bolognese is just the bolognese. There's nothing with it. So what I've been bringing is Deb mash, in a cup of Deb mash in a Ziploc bag, and I do that in my cup, and I put, I strategically tip in the bolognese into the mash and eat it as I go, right, and until it's all gone. And I was fine with that last night. That was great. So I could do that. But tonight was a dehydrated meal, and all my dehydrated meals, I don't even want to look at them at the moment, and that's at least half my meals, right? So I didn't even want to look at one tonight, so I'm not even going to, and I'll pay for it tomorrow. But I have one more of those. That'll be tomorrow night, and it's the steak, and I'll have mash with the steak as well, so that's fine. So what I do is I just heat the steak up, and I pick the bits of the steak out as I go and put it in the mash, eat the mash, and that's pretty good. The one that is the banger is their chicken curry. I love that one. Shame the bastard's so heavy. So what I've been doing is I've been bringing the 100ml cup that you can buy, the individual cup rice, and I've been heating that, putting that and heating it up in boiling water in my pot, draining it, and then tipping the rice into the satchel of the chicken after it's been heated, and mixing it around, and then that's it, and just eating it like that. And that has been mint. That's like gourmet out here. It's off the charts. I love that one. Problem is it's too heavy, and then the rice is too heavy, right? So the rice is 100 grams of rice. You're talking then with the container and everything, because it's not dry rice. It's semi, you know, it's not dehydrated. Put it that way. You know, it's hydrated to a point, right? So it's heavy. So it's like 120 grams or so for the rice. And then the other thing is, I don't know, 200 grams. So, I mean, you can't carry that around. That's too heavy. That's too much weight just for a dinner, right? So I don't like doing that. So I have strategically put them in there. So each drop has a couple to sort of give me a break. And they have. They have. I mean, the chicken one I've had twice, and yeah, I think I've got one in my next drop coming up in a couple of days. So, I mean, like I say, I got steak left. Steak's probably the least favourite because the steak's too, like it's an Angus steak, but it's too fatty. There's too much fat around it that you've got to pick the meat out, and there's just way too much fat involved. If it was really lean, I'd be all over it because it's slow cooked, right? It falls apart. But there's just too much fat involved. You've got to pick your way through it. I'm not a person who eats fat of any form. I cut that off everything. So if that was not there, it would be absolutely mint. So, sorry. I'm eating the leftovers of my snack bag at the moment, which was one of my M&Ms, which everything is frozen. Today, ascending up Mount Willis, I had to put my raincoat on over my walking shirt and put my black merino undergloves on because I was losing temp. I could not get warm, and I'm fighting all that stuff up. You think I'd break a sweat fighting all that stuff to get up here, but I couldn't. The temperature was like 1 from memory, but it was blowing a gale at that point. The wind chill would have to have been -5 or 6, right? It was horrendous. It wasn't until I got off the back, and I was halfway off the back coming down, and the wind was out of the way. There was like wind couldn't touch you down there. And I was able to go back to my day walking gear, take everything off, go back to my day walking gear. And I was fine like that for the rest of the walk until I started descending into this little valley here after getting up off the top of Lone Spur. You then descend down into here. It's not very far. It might be only half a K, but it's a quick descent. But you're not putting any effort in, right? You're just falling down the hill effectively. So I got cold really quickly, and when I got to camp, I was cold, even though it was, I don't know, it's early, 4:30, something like that. And it was already 3 degrees at that point, so I was freezing. So I worked hard to get everything up and organised pretty quickly. So now I'm just laying in bed, like 6 o'clock, 6:30 now probably. But I'm not going to move now. I did everything, put everything away. I've had my toilet break. I'll cross my legs for the rest of the night now. And that's it. So I'll lay here staring at nothing for a while. Maybe I'll read a bit more of the book, just to sort of nut out what I'm going to do. I think I'm fine. I think once I get out of the climb down the bottom here at Big River, and it's a staged climb looking at it. That's not just, it's 700. It's long. 750 maybe. It's long. But you just have to do fall first, then you have a break, because you'll actually dip into this little tiny saddle, and then you'll come up for the rest, and then the last half of the rest is not so steep. It levels out, and you're sort of meandering up a better incline. So I think once I'm up, and then up on the high plains, right, where all the snow poles are and not a tree to be seen, and the track is pretty much a vehicle track to access all the huts up there. So if that's the case, and looking at the elevation map for after you get out of Big River, it's flat, like nothing more than 100-meter climb anywhere. So if I pull up half right, considering I'm not eating dinner, I will see how I go. Make hay while the sun shines. Hopefully it is a sunny day and not windy. If it is sunny, you know, I'm like a solar panel. If I get warmth on me, I go better. So he's hoping that's the case, and we'll get booking. Try and get a little lead again, because then the day after is Mount Hotham, where I have my last drop, and it's going to be a heavy beast, because effectively I think from there it'll be 9 days for me to get out to Valhalla. That's including a short day around around the Viking. So the Viking has a lot of vertical scrambling going on, so not much distance involved, a lot more vertical than distance, so I even have a short day locked in there. So if I can move further down the track than what I planned, I have space to maneuver for lack of distances, right? So let's see. We'll see. But today was tough. It was crazy tough. I mean, I love single trail, really love single trail, and so that was good fun. I really enjoyed it, but it made for a slow, tough day. But your brain's active, do you know what I mean? It hasn't turned into veg and just autopilot like you do on fire trails, which I do. Fire trail, I just autopilot and not pay any attention to what's going on. I just clump away. At least here, it's constant. You got to pay attention to everything. Footing, every foot's got to be placed right, the whole lot. So you look and you see more things when you're on a single trail. I mean, there's just this one spot. There's this little saddle just before you make the final climb to get up to the top of this. I mean, it should be a mountain. It's freaking higher than Mount Willis. Maybe it has a name. I'll have to look in the book. If it has, I'll put it, at the top here. Where were we? The battery just went flat, so we'll just finish off our final thought. Do you remember what our final thought was, everybody? I don't remember what our final thought was. I don't know what our final thought was. Mate, it's too cold. My brain is frozen. It's too early to go to sleep, so I'm just going to lay here like a goose for a while. Try and get warm inside my quilt here. Please, quilt, excel. It's going to be a cold night. I have everything on. I have even my rain outfit on over the top of everything, so I'm absolutely maxing out everything. So let's see. Anyway, that will be it for, what are we, night 12. So we roll into 13 tomorrow. 11 days from home. Let's see if that's doable. I'll bust a gut to make it doable. Let's see how we go. I miss my girls. I want to go home and see my puppies and my daughter, so it's about time. Anyway, the rambles of rambles, hey? So let's see you on day 13 in the morning. I will probably don't know when I'll talk to you, because it's a single trail for the first freaking God knows how long, all the way to Big River and out. It's single trail. It's single trail until I get to the hut up the top. So I'll try and find a space to say hello to you in the morning. All right. All right. Night all. Take it easy.